Welcome to Wishwell Farms for our first day of sweet corn planting for the 2025 season. I know this is an odd time to go live, but I can't go live in the dark planting corn, so that's why we're doing it now. So hopefully a lot of you guys are available and will jump on here and join the chat. So I am going to take you on a live planting pass down the field, but first I want to show you guys around my corn planter and let you all know what I've done to it this year. Cheeseburger, hey, how's it going, buddy? So this is a 1979 John Deere 7000 corn planter. I purchased it back in about 2005, early 2000. So I've been using it for 20 years. I've replaced very few parts on it. I'm going to give you a quick walk around on this corn planter, tell you what I've done to it, talk about a few other things, and as far as fertilizer, starter fertilizer, and the seed that we're planting today. So those of you who, one of you just asked, when will the video be? I am filming the video currently, but I wanted to pause in the middle of planting and filming to go live because I don't go live very often. And when I do, hey, hello from Ireland. It's got to be something big. And today is a big day. I've been looking forward to getting sweet corn in the ground for the last few weeks, actually all winter. So it just feels so awesome to enjoy this spring weather out here. It's like 70 degrees today. We had clear blue skies earlier. The clouds are starting to roll in. The ground is finally dry enough to plant. And I'm just really excited to finally kick off the outdoor vegetable growing season. And it all starts right here with our first sweet corn planting. So pulling the old John Deere corn planter with the old John Deere 3020 from 1964. My grandpa bought this tractor when my dad was young. See, my dad would have probably been like 14, 16 years old when they bought this tractor back in 64. I have purchased it from my dad. Well, I kind of inherited it when I did an engine. I paid for the engine rebuild and I inherited it. So it's my tractor now, my beloved 3020. I've been using this tractor since I was a wee squirt baling hay back in the day. All right, let's do a walk around on this corn planter. I would love to go live with you guys for half hour to an hour, but I got so much work to do. I still have a couple acres of corn to put in. But yeah, I thought this live stream would be fun to do since it is a big day. All right, let's start up here in the front. Starter fertilizer, making sure I got this thing faced right. Starter fertilizer in that tank. That tank used to be 28% nitrogen, and it was knifed in with these coulters right here, 2 inches beside the seed and 2 inches below the seed. And I would put on about 6 or 8 gallons to the acre. The starter fertilizer gets put on right in the seed furrow at 4 gallons an acre. My pump hasn't been working for the last couple of years really well. And I was only getting like 2 or 3 gallons to the acre, basically nothing. And I never noticed any difference in my corn. So I decided to put all starter. So I replumbed it, put a new valve on there, a filter, and this line comes right over and tees into the line for this tank. It all gets pumped on the row units to each individual row unit with this 12-volt pump, goes through another filter into this manifold, and then each one of these lines go back to the row units. They come in right here into a check valve. And I think this is a pretty cool thing to see right now. You know what? I'm going to raise the planter up. Got a few things I want to show you. I know we have a lot of new viewers recently that don't know anything about planting sweet corn. So I'm going to raise this up and show you a few things. Turn that noisy tractor off. So that fertilizer, let's see if I can tilt my camera here, comes out right there. I don't know if you can see it or not in this iPhone, but this is called a rebounder. It's like a seed firmer. And right there is a little yellow Y, and that's where the fertilizer trickles into this furrow right on top of the sweet corn. So you can actually see a sweet corn seed. I actually got a double right there. That's not good. So the double disc openers, which I just replaced right there, open up the seed furrow, and then the seed comes down this seed tube, which I just replaced. This is all new stuff. Drops the seed in, and then these closing wheels pack it shut like that. I have the seed depth adjustment right here. I have it set at 1 inch. I like to put my sweet corn in about 1.5 inches, but with this conventional ground, setting it on 1 inch. Hey, thanks for tuning in. 1 inch seems to be enough because it's a little softer. The planter sinks a little deeper. And I was checking a lot of the seed depth earlier, and it was putting in about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. That's what I like for this early corn. Now, when we move into our no-till ground, which is about 95% of what we plant, I will have to set that to about 1.5 inches to 1 3/4 just to make sure I'm getting that seed down into the soil deep enough. So I replaced the depth gauge wheels, the double disc openers, the seed firmer rebounder thing, which puts on the fertilizer, starter fertilizer, and the seed tube protectors underneath the seed tube. And I replaced the seed tube. So almost everything back here. Oh, and mud scrapers. These are the mud scrapers right here. You can barely see it. Those keep the double disc openers free of mud if it happens to be a little tacky out when you're planting. And this field right here is just slightly tacky in spots. But I planted a couple acres over there, closer to the road. Perfect. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, really dry. At least over there. Over here, it's still a little damp, but dry enough. What else did I replace? I think that's it. Oh, my finger pickup units. So those are right in there. I did a video on checking those units, those finger pickup units, last week. And the next video coming out tomorrow is me putting everything on this planter. So a lot of the stuff I'm talking about right now will be in a regular 20-minute video, 25-minute video tomorrow night at 5 p.m. So if you're interested in seeing the details of everything on this planter that I replaced and just more details on how everything works, check out that video tomorrow evening. All right, what else? I know someone's gonna say something about, what is all that plastic out there in your field? Those are little bits and scraps and remnants of biodegradable plastic that we use for our raised beds. So we're gonna have raised beds right here, and actually over there by the woods, you can see last year's broccoli, cauliflower. Yeah, just broccoli and cauliflower. I didn't plant any cabbage last year. I never did get it pulled up, but it is degradable plastic. I just need to pull the drip tape up and then I can disc all that in. So yeah, there are strips of plastic here and there. Every once in a while, I'll see a piece get tangled up on one of the trash remover wheels or this no-till coulter, but it'll all disappear eventually. Sometimes it just doesn't disappear right away at the end of the season. All right, what else? Any questions out there? Thank you for all the information. You are welcome. Love sharing all this information about our farm. It's very enjoyable to me. You know, these live streams give me a chance to talk about some of the things that don't necessarily make all the videos. And I feel like even though I'm on the spot and I can't edit out any of my blunders, I don't know, I almost actually feel more comfortable going live than just making a regular video. You wouldn't believe how many takes I make sometimes. That makes me think of something. I'm a backpacker, and backpackers often get trail names. And I was thinking about this the other day. My trail name should be 10 take, because I literally take 5 or 10 takes. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes I get it right on the first try. But yeah, often takes a lot of takes just to make the video come out more polished in the end. This is more raw, and it's fun. I like it like this. How much do you pay per 1 acre? How much do you, I think you might have asked that in a comment on one of my previous videos. How much do you pay per 1 watermelon seed? Oh, okay. My packets of seed, depends on what they are. An average of $250 for a packet of 1,000 seeds. So you can do the math there. I don't know what that is. Is that a quarter a seed? But it's something like $190 all the way up to $325 for 1,000 seeds on average. I saw some more here. Hello from middle southern Tennessee. I bet you guys are hot down there right now. I bet people are planting full force down there in Tennessee. Man, I meant to flip this phone around. That way when I look at my comments, my finger's not in the way of the camera lens. How much do you think the corn is going to cost a dozen? Ooh, good question. Last year, our cheapest location, which tends to be out in the countryside, the rural locations, you know, kind of like where we're at, was $7, I believe, 7. As we get closer to the bigger city of Columbus, I think we were charging $8 a dozen, a baker's dozen, 13 years, and $9 a dozen in Columbus, which is where we do a majority of our sales at farmers markets. We were $1 per ear. I've been waiting for a long time to be able to charge $1 an ear. Forever and ever, it was 25 cents, then 50 cents, then 75 cents, and now I can finally do $1 an ear. So a lot of people are buying in small increments, so that's $12 a dozen. I think we were selling 4 ears for $3 and a half dozen for $5. So in reality, we're getting close to $12 or $10 a dozen. Yeah. So $10 to $12 a dozen. This year, we're probably going to be similar prices as of last year. There's kind of a price ceiling. You know what I mean? If you go too high, I should be getting $15 a dozen. If I wanted to have the net profit at the end of the season after growing all my corn with all the inputs figured in there and make as much as I used to, I would need to get $15 a dozen, at least. It's amazing how high inputs are. Oh my gosh, I could rant about this forever. But like I said, there's kind of a price ceiling. I will talk to other growers, see what they're doing. I highly doubt anyone's going to be over $10 a dozen, but you know, if you do buy it by the ear or in increments of 3 or 4, we are getting close to that $12 a dozen. So I like that. But that's kind of about, I can't imagine it being higher than that right now. 19 cents to $0.3 per seed now, you will, you know. Were you affected by the tariffs? I had no tariff effect on me whatsoever. I don't really want to get into politics on my channel. I know Millennial Farmer talked about the tariffs a little bit. Now, maybe it will affect me for next year's purchases, but I purchased all my supplies for the entire season at the end of December for tax purposes, to save on taxes. That if I'm going to buy it this year already, I might as well go ahead and buy it in 2024, thus lowering my gross income and being able to pay less taxes. It's kind of a tax technique that farmers use, and you know, it's completely legal. But no effect on the tariffs right now. What else we got here? Estimated harvest date of the corn. Good question. I've had corn for 4th of July weekend maybe 4 times in the 30 years I've been growing and selling corn. July 10 to July 12th is probably what it's going to be, about 90% of the time. What other questions you got? A great unexpected surprise. Well, thank you. I'm glad you like live stream surprises. What else do I talk about on this planter and tractor? I think we're about ready to hop on and do a little pass planting corn. Oh, we didn't talk about the varieties. Bolt, Kickoff. Those are my 2 early season varieties. I've been planting Kickoff since it's been available, maybe a decade. Bolt has probably been around 5 years, maybe, at least 4, maybe 5 or 6. Kickoff was the earliest super sweet variety that was good. There's a few other ones that may be a little earlier, but they're just so small and not that great flavor, like main season varieties are. Kickoff is just as good as any of my main season corn varieties, just about. I mean, it's right there. It's so good. They say it's a 69-day maturity, 69 to 71, somewhere in there. And then Bolt is at least, even though they say it's a 66, I don't know if that's true, probably a 67 to 69. But I do harvest Bolt at least 4 to 5 days before kickoff. So if the kickoff comes ripe in the middle of the week, you know, I'm always anticipating when it's going to be ready. Will I have it for this weekend, for example, like July 7? Say like July 7 falls on a Saturday. Will kickoff be ready for July 7? No. But Bolt might be ready July 3, for example, or by that July. It's always 5 days earlier. I'm kind of losing my, trying to explain something there. It didn't work out. Bolt is amazing. Ear size is pretty nice. It's almost as big as a full main season variety, just slightly smaller. But the thing about it is it's short. It's only 5 feet tall. And we had a great stand-up bolt last year. It's easy. It's an easy snapper. Tastes amazing. The ear size is really good. It's just short. So, you know, you're down here squatting over, bending over, picking your corn like this. And my brother, Joel, and my son are both 6'4", and they joke about how they pretty much need to be on their knees, walking on their knees to pick the corn. So it does make it easier for raccoons to get it. But we haven't had near the raccoon problems as we used to, because my son and the neighbor guy were in the trapping pretty heavily, and they killed a couple hundred of them in the past few years. But I did notice they are making a little bit of a comeback last year, because no one's trapping. No one's hunting or trapping raccoons because there's nothing. They're not worth anything anymore. What types of sweet corn hold well? Good question. Super sweets. Augmented super sweets. Augmented super sweets, also known as SHQs. Sometimes they're called table sweets. There's a bunch of different names of them, but they're augmented super sweets. So traditional super sweets, like you'd get in the grocery stores back in the day, are always so crunchy. But those are the ones that were shippers. You could ship them across the country or from the south up to the north when the north didn't have corn, and they would still taste decent, but they were so crunchy. So the augmented super sweets takes the tenderness of sugary enhanced, the sugary enhanced with the super sweets. So you get the sweetness of the super sweet, but the tenderness of the sugary enhanced. And then there's another version in the middle, kind of called triple sweets or synergistic. And those are 75% sugary enhanced, only 25% super sweet. But they do not hold their sugars. They will still go bland on you within a day, especially if they're not in a cooler. By the end of the day, they're bland, flavorless. But they might be just slightly tender, more tender than the super sweets, the augmented super sweets. But I've grew synergistics. I've grew the triple sweets, the sugary enhanced. I've grown them all. And it's probably been 12 or 15 years now, we've stuck with all SHQs, augmented super sweets. They're the best of both worlds. The holdability is amazing. Whoever you were that asked about how long will the corn hold, I kid you not, I can put the corn in a cooler, and at the end of the week, it tastes like it was fresh picked, as long as it was never exposed to the heat. Now, I don't do that because we're picking fresh corn every day, at the very least every other day. Just depends on when our markets are. But we like to pick it fresh every day, but we can hold it over if we don't sell it all, and it still is perfect as fresh picked the next day. You can't do that with sugary enhanced triple sweets or synergistics. No way. You could try it, but you're gonna lose your customer base real quick because they don't hold their sugars and flavors like the stuff I plant, like most farmers plant. Any big commercial grower for the fresh market, for the most part, is growing augmented super sweets. All right, what other kind of questions we got here? I got to wrap this up. 18 minutes in, and I got a lot of corn to plant. No deer problems. Our biggest problem is still birds, the red-winged blackbirds, starlings, things like that, and raccoons. We're going to try a couple different techniques to control those this year, so just be on the lookout for those videos. I will definitely film that. What else we got here? How much does your spots asking for? Tomatoes and watermelons. Gosh, that's a long question. $2 an average. We ask $1.5 to $2 for tomatoes and melons. You're by the kilogram. I can't do that math in my head. We're doing $3.50 a pound for tomatoes starting out, and we'll probably go down to $2.95 by the end of the season when the field tomatoes kick in. Our watermelons, we are selling them for anywhere, when I have to buy them and resell them, they could be $6 to $10. We'll probably have ours around $5. Our cantaloupes will probably be about $4. So this is a great video suggestion, by the way, or an idea. I will go over all of my vegetable price lists for our farmers markets as we get closer to that time of the year. I really have no idea. I know what I did last year, but I don't know what I'm going to do this year. Some things are going to have to be increased. It's just inevitable because of how high our inputs are. I'm not going to work this hard, this long, with this much risk if I can't make a comfortable living and slug away money for retirement and pay all my bills. So, yeah, I would rather, some customers aren't going to like that, but here's my philosophy on that. I would rather grow less and sell it for more. It makes my life a heck of a lot easier. Yes, I might not have the huge customer base that maybe I had 10 years ago, but I'll have the loyal customers that understand the price of farming is high, and they're willing to pay for that quality that us fresh market growers bring to the farmers markets. So yeah, I'll count on that customer base, and I'll be selling less product, which is totally fine with me. I'm not trying to grow my operation right now. I would rather do a better job on a smaller acreage and make more money for what I'm growing. All right, what else? There was a couple questions up there. 85 people on here. Nice. My husband and I love your channel. Awesome. Thank you. You have a crop farm in northern Illinois. We planted our first sweet corn of the season yesterday. Yep, I almost planted mine yesterday, but there was one spot right here that was a little wet. You probably can't see it in the camera, but it was a little sticky right there. And it was windy and cold, and I knew this beautiful weather was coming today, and it would be better for flying the drone, which I did a little bit ago, and better for going live with you guys. I'm not out here shivering. Montauk. I grew Montauk 15 years ago. It's a sugary enhanced, maybe a synergistic. It's a big ear. It's almost too big. I'm telling you, it doesn't even compare to the super sweets. I know 99% of the population that has gardens or a little small backyard market garden don't really know about augmented super sweets. That is the way to go. It's the way of the future. Synergistics and triple sweets are only good for a couple hours, and then they start losing their sugars. Does your bean picker pick peas? I've been asked that numerous times. Nah. I tried it on my sugar snap peas numerous times and edamame. I was picking up more dirt and rocks than I did peas, and it dings up the shell. The edible pod, it dings it up and bruises it, nicks it. So, nope, unfortunately it does not. Maybe it would do a better job on shelling peas. All those other crazy peas. I don't know, black-eyed peas, was that a thing? Purple hull peas, I don't know, all those other crazy beans that they grow in the South. Maybe it will work on those, but I am not the person that can answer that question. I am planting. How many acres am I planting today? 2.5 of bolt and probably 1.5 acres of kickoff. And I will plant kickoff again in about 5 to 7 days. I do a double planting of kickoff, and then I only plant once on bolt, twice on kickoff, and then we move into our main full season varieties that are all 73 to 78 day maturity. So 5 acres today. Total acreage will be 25. I did grow up to 35 acres about a decade ago. I'm just scrolling through the comments here before I sign off, guys. Guys, got to get back to the garden. Yeah, I need to get back too. Hopefully the morning glories are eased up this year. Yes, that is why I'm putting corn here. This is my morning glory field. So I rotated a majority of my vegetables to a different area, and we are doing sweet corn here, and I'll be able to fry any kind of weed that I don't want out here. Yeah, I know there's I'm reading some comment about compost. There's so many things that can be done on smaller scales, way easier when it comes to composting and all that kind of stuff. All right, guys, I think this is about it. I don't want to bore you to death out here. Oh yeah, I got to hop on the tractor and plant around with you. One pass with you. Just catching up on the comments here. Hello from Romania. Holy moly, I wonder what time it is in Romania. Yes, it feels good getting stuff in the ground. That was a comment. All right, guys. This is probably going to be noisy. I tried this last year. We're just going to make one quick pass. I actually only have 200 feet left to the end of this pass right here. I'm going to plant with you to the end of that pass, hop off, a couple closing comments, see if there's any more comments from you, and then I'm going to get back to work. I plant in 5th gear. Down, over. Let's do it again. Take 2. Down, over, down. There's my fertilizer. Flip it on. But it will not come on until the planter's lowered. There's like a switch back there that allows it to turn on. Whoa, that was a little fast. All right, but since I pulled it up, I've got to go up again to get the right arm to come down. Now that arm's going to go down over there. The marker arm. That marker arm's making a mark down the middle of next to where I just planted, and I drive down the center of it. And that will ensure that all my rows are 30 inches apart. There we go. I apologize if that was really loud. Maybe that was terrible. I don't know. That footage might have sucked really bad. That's the best I can do with an iPhone while I'm driving. So guys, the next video coming out after tomorrow. Tomorrow night's video is not this sweet corn planting video that I'm out filming right now. This one will be Monday night's video, I think. Last year, one more thing I wanted to mention. So I like to try to film a couple videos ahead of time so I have time to edit them, polish them up, make them ready for YouTube release. But doing 3 videos a week, it's hard to get really far ahead. So when you see a video coming out from me, it was probably filmed 2 days prior and edited the in-between day and then released the next day. So right now you're getting content on my channel that is very recent, like only 2 days old. So what you're seeing me do right now will be on Monday night's video, but tomorrow night's video, I mentioned this already, but for those of you who came on late, the video tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Eastern is going to be me fixing up this planter and getting it ready, maintaining it, putting on all my new parts, and just talking in detail about how it all works and all that good stuff. I might even talk about the seed varieties. Yeah, I think I did. The only thing I didn't really talk about was my starter fertilizer. I don't know if anybody's interested in that. It is a pop-up type fertilizer, low salt. I can put it right on top of the seed furrow, right on top of the seeds, and it won't hurt it or burn it. It is an 824-4. So that's about all I know about that. I'm sure there's better products out there. I don't know. It works for me. It's what I get from our local dealer that we get all of our soybeans from, and some of our chemicals and things like that. All right, you probably could see and hear all the rocks I was hitting. Look at all those rocks. That is terrible. Yeah, this back section is just full of rocks. Probably built a quarry here. All right, guys, I'm gonna check the comments one more time. Sweet Gourmet. Yeah. North Carolina. Hey, have a good Easter. I appreciate that. You guys have a good Easter as well. Enjoy Good Friday tomorrow and Easter Sunday coming up. Looking forward to that. All right, how deep? I think I mentioned this already. Okay, I'm getting confused about what all I have filmed for my video and what all I talked about live. I'm set up at 1 inch right now, but because I'm in conventional tilled ground, it's sinking down about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, which is right where I want it. I will adjust that depth to be 1.5 inches minimum. So I'll probably have to set it at 1 3/4 inches when I get on like hard ground like this no-till ground, just to make sure I get that seed depth, get that seed deep enough. Yep, humic acid, fulvic acid, those are, that's where it's at, man. If I was on a small scale, just doing greenhouses and a little garden, I would be all over that stuff, but I haven't really done much with it. Micronutrients, yeah, I do. So I'm gonna be spreading some potash today. And I also put in a micronutrient package, a sulfur package. I'll be also spreading some ammonium sulfate. So there's micronutrients in some of my foliar feeds. I know some people don't really believe in foliar feeding. I'm on the fence about it, but I do it, especially on my high value crops that are gonna go on our raised beds over here. Watching from northeast Iowa. No, don't be sending me any rain. Now, normally I would like that. I'd be like, thank you. We could use some rain, but no, we're good. We've had some huge gully washers. I got ruts all over my fields. I got to fix. You know, we're on a lot of hills here. Most people don't know Ohio is rolling hills, but we're on the highest point of Ohio right here, and we have lots of hills. And that's why we have to farm no-till. We would lose all of our topsoil right down the gully washers and into the creek and never see it again. So we use some cover crops too to kind of help hold that topsoil in place and improve the soil biodiversity, texture, all that good stuff. All right, folks. One last look. Seed rate. Oh, yeah, I didn't talk about that. I did talk about it in my video that I'm filming right now for YouTube, but this one, or today, I am set at 22,100. That's where I start with my early varieties. In about 2 weeks, I'll be at 20,000, 19 and 20,000. I might even go down to 18.5, but usually we stick around 19 and don't go much lower than that. I'm doing well, thank you. All right, folks, 31 minutes. I did not expect to do this. I'm gonna sign off. Thank you for tuning in for this live stream and planting some sweet corn with me. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for the sweet corn planting video coming out Monday night and the maintenance and repair video of this corn planter coming out tomorrow night. Alrighty, guys, this is where I'm wrapping it up. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next time down on the farm. Later.